Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to rank all of Ash's friends and companions from my least favourite to my favourite. But this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to include a few extra characters that travelled with Ash in the anime. Obviously there's a lot of characters who have travelled with Ash for multiple episodes, so they won't all be included, but I'm going to rank how I view them in terms of their friendship with Ash and how strong their bond is. For example, I'll be including characters such as TODD Snap, as he was a close friend and travelled with Ash on 2 different occasions. I also want to point out I won't be including the movie alternate universe friends, only from the main series. And also I'm including a few of Ash's rivals who have travelled with him on multiple occasions, which I consider to be his friends. Of course characters like Alan and Gladion are Ash's friends, but they are his main rivals, so I'll be including characters such as Barry and Sawyer who have actually travelled with Ash for a while and are more side rivals. So with that being said, let's get into the video and I hope you enjoy. Coming in number 30, bottom of the list, there is 30 characters on this list, you heard that right, CHERYL. CHERYL was with Ash during his travels in the Sinnoh region. Although she was only with him for 3 episodes, I saw her more as a friend and a companion, as she plays a similar role in the games where she accompanies the player character through Eterna Forest. She was a very solid character, but she's low on the list because we didn't really see too much of her, but I did like her story of wanting to find the honey. In 29 is Luke. Luke travelled with Ash during the Unova series. He was an interesting character and he was a Pokemon movie maker, something we've never really seen before, so he added an extra something whenever we saw him. He travelled with Ash for around 4 episodes and we also saw him again later during another movie project. He was a good character but nothing too special to put him higher. Coming in 28 is LYRA and KHOURY. These two were introduced in the mini Sinnoh arc, which I fairly enjoyed. The arc was the sole purpose of showcasing the new Johto games Heart Gold and Soul Silver. LYRA was a character from the games and both of them had Johto starters. They were a fun addition to the anime and it made for a nice mini arc within the Sinnoh series, but overall they didn't really do much for the story and that's why they are so low. Coming in 27th is Alexa. So Alexa was introduced at the end of the Black and White series and it was in a really cool way, as she's shown us the brand new region being Kalos, where she was from, and we also got the debut of a few of her Kalos region Pokemon. She was a solid way of transitioning from one region to another, and she also appeared a few times in the next series. But as far as Ash's friends go, I wouldn't rank her too high. In 26th place is SOPHOCLES. So finally we have our first main travelling companion, SOPHOCLES from the Alola region. I think it's commonly known that he isn't really liked that much. I really didn't like him to begin with in the Sun and Moon series. He did grow on me a little bit, and I can even say I like him a little bit now, as his development got a lot better towards the end of the series. But he's still a very boring character in my opinion, and definitely the least interesting from the Alola crew. Next up is N. N is one of the best characters that Pokemon have ever created in both the games and the show. I think the anime did a great job of introducing him towards the end of the Black and White series. With his disgust towards making Pokemon battle, it made for a really interesting dynamic with Ash and a conflict of ideals. Overall, the N and Team Plasma arc was one of the real high points of the Black and White anime, and one of the main reasons was because of N. Coming in 24 is ROTOM-DEX. I'm including ROTOM-DEX because it had a real close bond with Ash throughout Sun and Moon, and it is clearly shown in the episode where they fall out. At the start of Sun and Moon I wasn't a big fan of it, but like other characters it grew on me and I came to enjoy its bond with Ash and the information that it would give us throughout the series. But this place improves my list is based on bonds with Ash rather than the character itself, because if it's based off characters alone then N would definitely be higher than ROTOM-DEX. In 23 is BIANCA. So BIANCA was a rival of Ash's but also a friend. And she wasn't his main rival or even that important of a rival, so she probably belongs on this list more than the rivals list. She travelled with Ash on multiple occasions and they always seemed to have a lot of fun together, and we have proof of how close they were when Ash defended her in battle against her dad so that she could continue her journey.
The fact is, Bianca's my friend.
Your friend?
Okay, she doesn't travel with us everywhere, but we've met up with her a bunch of times and she enters tournaments with us.
Number 22 is Bonnie. Bonnie seems to have a lot of fans around, but I was never really one of them. I thought she was a decent addition to the X and Y series, but we'd already seen the little sibling aspect done with Max, and I thought it was done better on that occasion, but she's still a really fun character. In number 21 is Chloe. This one is on the list because it's clear Chloe is going to become an important character down the line and eventually travel with Ash, and I do see her as one of Ash's friends right now. I like how they've handled her character when she does appear. The problem is she hasn't appeared enough, so I'd like to see much more of her and Yampa. Number 20 is Mallow. Back to Alola, we have the very kind-hearted cook Mallow. She is a very bright and bubbly character, and she has some very strong moments in this series, especially the episode where she sees her mum in the mist. But she's low because it took me way too long to enjoy her character, similar to a few others in Sun and Moon.
Mommy! Mommy! Mom! Serena! Look how big you've grown.
Number 19 is TODD Snap. You're probably surprised how high he is, but I just loved his character. Obviously he was a reference to the game Pokemon Snap, and on 2 different occasions he travelled with Ash. His pictures came in handy to help people out and made for some great episodes. I really enjoyed both arcs when he was around. Coming in 18 is Richie, another one of Ash's rivals but also one of his closest friends. You could see straight away just how much these two loved Pokemon, and they bonded over their love and formed such a strong friendship. It frustrates me we never saw a proper battle when they met in Johto, but at the same time they had no reason to battle. They were no longer rivals, they were just really close friends. Richie was also an exact copy of Ash, so of course they'd get along. Coming in number 17 is MEOWTH. I'm not sure if this is the right placement for MEOWTH, also if MEOWTH should even be on the list, but he travelled with Ash for around 5 episodes during the Black and White series, and they seemed to form a little bit of a friendship, so I thought I'd include it. Some moments it felt like MEOWTH wanted to leave Team Rocket and go straight, but of course it was all a trap. But I really do enjoy the episodes that Ash was with MEOWTH. MEOWTH's ability to talk to other Pokemon really came in handy in these episodes. In number 16 is Max. Honestly I thought Max would be a little bit higher. I know many people still aren't too keen on him, but I actually quite like him. I thought the dynamic between him and May were fantastic in advance, and then his friendship with Ash was an important aspect of the series because Ash was taking the role of the big brother and even teaching Max important knowledge for battle. Coming in 15 is Sawyer. Sawyer was a hard one to rank. I really like Sawyer as a rival for Ash. He's one of my favourites, but he's also a close friend of Ash in the X and Y series. He was like a prodigy that Ash mentored and helped grow on his adventure, until eventually he was beaten by Sawyer in battle. Sawyer grew and learnt so much of Ash and even travelled alongside him a few times.
We beat Greninja! We did it! Amazing! We won! Sceptile, we really beat Ash!
Number 14 is Iris. I think Iris is really underrated as a character. She may not be that high up on the list, but I still really do enjoy her in Black and White. She actually has a lot of episodes focused towards her goal of becoming a Dragon Master. Some of them better than others, but at least they strive towards her goal, and although her friendship with Ash begun with her just teasing Ash, eventually she came to admire him and they became really close.
Being thoughtful like that might help me to become a Dragon Master. So I'll wait. Plus, I'm really happy to be here talking to you.
Number 13 is Barry. This is the final non-main companion that I've picked, and I think it makes complete sense. Barry has travelled with the gang on several occasions, and he just seems to fit into the Diamond and Pearl group dynamic so well. His energetic impatience makes for such a different change of pace for the group, and honestly it's a shame he wasn't a main character all around. Although he is Ash's rival, I see him more of a friend since Paul took all the focus in Diamond and Pearl. Overall, Barry was just a great character and I don't think he gets talked about enough. I hope to see him return one day. Coming in number 12 is CILAN. The second half of the Black and White group, CILAN was a different take on the male travelling companion, being a Pokemon connoisseur. Much like Iris at first he got annoying, but on the back of Brock leaving we just wanted Brock back. But if you look past that, he's actually a solid character. Just like Iris, he has some good episodes dedicated to his goal, and he helps the group out immensely when they get stuck in a jam. Also, he's not too bad at battling, being a former gym leader, and unlike Brock, he competes in quite a few battles during the series. Number 11 is Lana. Back to the Sun and Moon series with Lana. Lana was one of the characters in Sun and Moon that I kind of liked straight away, unlike SOPHOCLES and MALLOW where it took me a bit longer to like them. Lana was different, she seemed unique, she had her own weird sense of humour, and I just loved her character. Number 10 is Tracey SKETCHIT. Now if you know me, then you won't be surprised with how high on the list Tracey has placed, but if you don't know me, then you'll probably be clicking off the video. I actually really enjoy Tracey's character. He's a caring guy who has his own thing of being a Pokemon watcher and he even draws the Pokemon. He filled the role perfectly for the Orange Islands, despite not quite filling Brock's shoes, but we got Brock back, so Tracey did what he was there to do, and him and Ash seemed to become bros straight away. Coming in number 9 is Go. So here is the newest main companion that we've been given, being Go. At the start of Pokemon Journeys, I was unsure if I'd liked Go or not, and I'm sure a lot of people were the same, but as the show goes on and we spend more and more time with him, I enjoy his character even more, even though he has his fair share of critics still. His goal of catching every Pokemon is unique. It's the first time anyone has had that goal in the anime, and despite him not bonding with his Pokemon, which is people's biggest critique, I think he's getting better at that as well. And he has so many Pokemon already, it's impossible for him to bond with every single one of them. His relationship with Ash is the main high point though. They have such a sense of mentor and apprentice, and they both help each other out massively when needed. Go is already this high just from what we've seen so far, so by the end of Journeys he could even climb higher. Coming in number 8 is Lillie, a lot of people's favourite character from Sun and Moon. She is a really good character and one of the best in Sun and Moon, and she's had so many focused episodes to her in the first season of Sun and Moon, and she stood out from all the characters. The problem was for me that they pushed her maybe a little bit too much with her episodes and needed to spread out the development a bit more. But she was a great character with a great backstory, being scared of touching Pokemon, and her story comes full circle. And she's even appearing in Pokemon Journeys, and we might even get more episodes of her looking for her dad. Coming in number 7 is everyone's favourite Pokegirl, SERENA. I like SERENA a lot, but not as much as some people. She has a really solid story with her learning what her true goal is and going through ups and downs with her showcases, but being honest, I never really cared for the showcase part of her story. I more enjoyed the relationship she had with Ash. I liked how she was dedicated to him and she actually cared a lot, and the snowball scene was one of the best. Overall, SERENA is a great character and I would like to see her again, and I think it's very likely that we will.
You're not acting like the Ash I know! Stop! Give me back the real Ash, because you sure aren't him!
In number 6 is CLEMONT. CLEMONT is my favourite member of the XY crew because he was so different to anything we'd seen before. Brock, Tracey, CILAN were all kind of similar, and then CLEMONT came along and he had this friendly nerdy vibe about him, and he was great. I loved him and how him and Ash formed such a strong bond and even a rivalry, which led up to my favourite gym battle in the Kalos series, being Ash versus CLEMONT for his 5th badge. CLEMONT was a fantastic character and I really hope he returns one day. Coming in number 5 is May, Ash's 2nd female companion coming from Hoenn. May changed the group dynamic massively. We were so used to Brock and Misty being the only 2 companions, and they didn't really have major goals in the original series, but in came May in advance. She didn't like Pokemon at first, but she really grew as a trainer and eventually became a top-notch coordinator, and Ash seems to even mentor her all the way along, which made their friendship even better. She's definitely a character that I really want to see return soon. Coming in the 4th spot is KIAWE, my favourite member of the Sun and Moon gang and the 2nd best male companion that Ash has ever had in my opinion. KIAWE, similar to CLEMONT, was different to anything we'd seen before. He was one of the strongest trainers in Alola when Ash arrived, and he questioned Ash's abilities. Ash had to prove himself to KIAWE before they would really accept him into the gang. They become such good friends and rivals to some extent, both doing the island trials. I just love how determined and strong KIAWE's character is, and he adds more of a serious balance to the Alola group. Coming in 3rd place is Misty. This may be an unpopular pick, but I am a massive fan of the original series, and I look back at it with a lot of nostalgia, as it's where everything begun, and Ash began his journey with Misty at his side. She was the first person that he met on his journey, after stealing her bike, and say what you will about her not having much of a goal or being a bit bland, she was Ash's first friend and she'll always remain one of his closest friends, and that's why she came back in Sun and Moon, because they made the most sense to celebrate the anniversary and also some of the most important characters to Ash. And I also believe Misty will return again in Journeys, and I can't wait for that day.
I think that we were meant to meet and become friends.
Me too. We've been through so much together on our travels. I'd say we're best friends now.
You mean it, Brock? We're really best friends? Yeah.
In 2nd place is Dawn, my favourite of the female travelling companions. Diamond and Pearl was truly a game-changing series, and I loved every last minute of it, and Dawn was one of the main reasons it was so exciting. and even having May come before her and also be a coordinator, it didn't feel boring or old. It felt like Dawn brought a brand new perspective to it and made it even better, with her dream to one day win the Grand Festival just like her mum did. She knew what she wanted to do straight away. She had such a fun and loving personality, and she's a lot different to the other female companions, and her friendship with Ash was truly excellent. She felt like a joint protagonist alongside him and got so much development in the series. She was truly a perfect character. But coming in number 1 is Brock. So the pretty obvious choice made the number 1 spot, but it couldn't be anyone else. Brock has more than earned his place at the top spot, and he'll probably forever remain here. He's had so much time on screen with us, from the original series all the way up until Diamond and Pearl, and returning with Misty in Sun and Moon. Brock is Ash's best friend in my opinion. The two have done so much together, so many adventures and journeys they've been through, and Ash has probably learnt the most from watching Brock. Watching him cook, watching him take care of everybody's Pokemon. He does everything. I don't want to go too much about Brock because we could literally be here forever, but he's just a perfect character and one of my favourite characters in Pokemon history.
I'll become a Pokemon Master!
We knew that. We've known each other forever. Goes without saying.
So that was my list. I'm sorry this video dragged on for quite a while, but I wanted to have a different take on it by including friends of Ash's that I believe deserve to be given a bit more acknowledgement, even if they aren't main companions. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know who your favourites are, both companions and non-companions. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and see you next time.